If you were to meet someone named Sprinkles, you might think to yourself, okay, maybe they're a clown or something, which they might be. Or you may have just met 10-year-old me when I decided to nickname myself. My family has called me Sis for as long as I can remember, because when I was learning how to talk, I couldn't pronounce my own name, and I called myself Sissa, which got shortened to Sis. 10-year-old me thought that Sis was a name for babies. So lame, and didn't even show how fun and spunky I am. I bet that I was sitting outside Gabriella's on the bench with a cone of black raspberry blast, topped with rainbow sprinkles, when the idea came to me. This new nickname of Sprinkles showed how fun and spunky I am, and also incorporated my favorite dessert. And it wasn't easy realizing that I do have a favorite dessert because I just love all of them so much. Like, I've been a picky eater, kind of. I've gotten over it ever since I was little. And I hated Thanksgiving because I thought turkey and vegetables were so gross. But then my Aunt Nancy would bring out pumpkin pie and cheesecake, and I'd be like, okay, this is it. But something about ice cream is super special to me. I remember when I was little, I would just wait for 8:15 p.m. to come around, and I would beg my dad to scoop me some ice cream. Because he worked at a creamery when he was in high school, and he had this whole special routine. He'd get the ice cream scoop, run under some hot water, flick it off, and with a little bit of elbow grease, he would have the perfect round scoop of ice cream. As you can probably guess, I like to eat ice cream year-round, even in the winter, although my intake probably doubles when Magic Fountain opens. And I like to try all sorts of different flavors, classic chocolate, vanilla, pumpkin. Recently I had avocado ice cream. It was really good. Definitely a lot better than the first flavors of ice cream that included grated cheese, asparagus, and breadcrumbs. People were having breadcrumb ice cream, but my mom wouldn't let me get Play-Doh from McCool's, which is just yellow and vanilla, okay? So weird. So yeah, it should be clear by now that I love ice cream. I mean, I'm up here talking about it for 10 minutes. But the funny thing is that my favorite thing about ice cream isn't really the ice cream itself. My favorite thing about ice cream is eating it with other people. I'm sure we've all noticed that people these days are always on their phones. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you were on your phone right now, although I hope you're not. But studies are showing that increased screen time is linked to increased levels of depression and anxiety. I know for me, when I'm on my phone too much, scrolling through Instagram, I just feel so alone sometimes. I'm the only one who's not on a cool vacation or hanging out with my friends all the time. Our former Surgeon General, Vivek Murthy, she called loneliness an epidemic. And research has shown that the effect of loneliness on your health is equivalent to 15 cigarettes a day. There's actually this group in Denmark. It's called Ventolin. And what they do is that they help people who are feeling lonely find a group of friends. Ventolin means friend to one in Dutch. And they organize group hangouts for 15 to 25-year-olds where they can work out, play games, or eat food together. And this group actually completely failed at first until they added in the aspect of eating together. Participants say that when you eat together, you just talk more and you share more about yourself. And you should choose to eat ice cream because when you're eating ice cream, you are physically forced to use your hands, so you have to put your phone down. It's also fun to eat ice cream because it's a treat. And sometimes you just need to treat yourself. Way back in the 1880s, the ice cream soda was super duper popular. And actually, it got banned on Sundays because of religious laws. They said that ice cream sodas were too pleasurable for such a holy day. I mean, obviously, this has changed by now, and you should treat yourself. And, sorry. Okay. Let me just take a second. It's good to eat ice cream because it's a treat, but scooping time out of your busy schedule to get a scoop of cookie dough with your friend, that's a treat too. One of my least favorite things is when people say, oh, sorry I didn't do that, I'm just too busy. Were you really that busy? Aren't we all busy? I don't understand why people can't understand that. I remember last year, I had this big English essay due on The Great Gatsby, and it was due on a Thursday. And I knew that Wednesday afternoon I would be at a track meet all day, so I just did it beforehand. But I heard about some of my teammates who were emailing my teacher, Mrs. Gagliardi, who I adore. They were asking her for an extension at the last second. You know that was not happening. There are lots of important things in our lives, but we can balance them. We can make time for them. And you should especially make time for the people in your life that you care about, like your friends and your family. So if you're going to make time for your friends and family, why should you eat ice cream with them, you ask? Because ice cream has been scientifically proven to make you happy. In ice cream, there's tyrosine in the proteins, which trigger the production of dopamine. And even if you don't know anything about psychology, I think we've all heard that little trigger word, dopamine. It means you're happy. And also, brain scans have shown correlation between activation of the hypothalamus in your brain and eating ice cream. The hypothalamus controls your emotions. Eating ice cream can lessen your brain's response to sadness by about 50%. That's the same as a typical antidepressant. I'm not saying that you should replace your antidepressant medication with ice cream, but it's interesting to think about how something so simple can make sad times better and happy times even brighter. There's nothing better than seeing a T-ball team celebrating their big win with ice cream cones as big as their head. And actually, Appalachian trail hikers who do the whole 2,700-something miles, they celebrate getting to the halfway point by eating a whole half-gallon of ice cream. This past summer, I was hiking a bit on the AT up in New Hampshire and Maine, and I was with a 12-person crew. And when we finished our trek, we had just spent maybe a little bit too much time together, if you will. And the first thing we did, we were all hot, sweaty, and exhausted after our trip, we went to an ice cream place. First thing we did, we went to this ice cream place, we just found it off the side of the road. After we ate our ice cream, our hangriness was gone, and we came back together. Interestingly enough, there is one relationship in my life that formed purely out of my love of ice cream. Way back in those days, none of us like to think about, middle school, I walked home every day, and I would go right down Main Street, so I'd pass all the stores, boutiques, and shops. And I'd every day walk past Gabriella's. Every Friday, my friend and I would stop in, and we would get a cone. I can tell you exactly how much a sugar cone cost there, $3.16. And I would carry around the exact change just to pay for it. And we befriended this guy, Mike, in the picture, who worked there. He's a super friendly guy, super nice, super funny. But sadly, Gabriella's closed when I was in 7th grade. So that last Friday, I went in. I was really super sad to be saying goodbye to Mike. And I didn't realize it, but he was that he was sad to be saying goodbye to me, too. He got my friend and I presents, little notebooks to write in, and I still have it. The feeling I got when I realized that this guy who I only knew from he scooped me ice cream, it made me feel special and appreciated. And that's why one day I would love to open up my own ice cream shop to pass along that feeling to other people. My ice cream shop will be called Sully's Scoops, and it will be either in Maine, North Carolina, the Jersey Shore, or Hawaii. I haven't decided yet. But it's going to have a bit of an old parlor feel with black and white tiled floors, a little bit modern too, with marble countertops and chalkboard walls for people to write on. And I actually told my mom recently when we were on a college visit, I said, well, she's told me, okay, Marissa, what are you going to do with your life? And I was like, I don't know, it'd be cool to have an ice cream shop. And she was like, no, which is, I know she just wants the best for me. But the reason I keep thinking about this dream, this goal of mine, is because I really believe that you cannot be sad when you're eating ice cream. Sometimes the happiest moments in our lives can have bits of sadness in them. Every great family vacation has the big family fight. And I know next month at graduation, I'm going to be so excited to move into my future, but I'm going to be so sad to think about everything that I'll be leaving behind. But when you're eating ice cream, and when people are eating ice cream at my shop, I want them to remember that you don't need something big and shiny, or you don't need a big celebration to be happy. Sometimes you just need something simple, like a scoop of ice cream, some sprinkles, and someone to share it with. Thanks.